Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list.
Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from my very own channel Astro Assurance. I get a lot of requests from time to time, especially in the comment section, that my planet is placed or a planet is placed in a certain house. These are the aspects on it. Will it give me good results or not? So now from an aspects perspective, I've done a lot of videos. However, I see that some of the questions keep getting asked even from those people who have seen those videos where I've talked about aspects. Today I'm making this a more holistic approach to how you should see aspects in your horoscope and how you should be able to interpret them and how aspects manifest in your horoscope. So firstly, aspects are important component of a planet's influence in the horoscope. Planets influenced by virtue of rulership, what houses they rule, and also which houses they aspect and what houses they are combining with planets in those houses with yogas. So if two planets are in a yoga, even if the planet is not aspecting that house and the planet is also not ruling that house, yet because they are in a yoga with a planet which is placed in that house, then the planet will give results of that house as well. So in that manner, you can also say to an extent aspects also play a part in when a planet is in a yoga with another planet, though it's exactly not called an aspect. So aspects are the virtue of a planet being able to put its influence or drishti as it's called in shlokas, or where it is able to see. That is how an aspect is described. So there are simple aspects of every planet, seventh to itself. So all planets have seventh aspect to themselves. However, some planets also have special aspects. Now Sun, Moon, Mercury and Venus have only the seventh aspect. However, Saturn, Jupiter and Mars have special aspects. Mars has the fourth aspect, the seventh aspect and the eighth aspect. Saturn has the third aspect, the seventh aspect as well as the 10th aspect, whereas Jupiter has the fifth aspect, the seventh aspect and the ninth aspect. Each aspect of a planet has a different meaning, a special meaning. I have done videos on the meaning of the fourth, the seventh and the eighth aspect of Mars, the third, the seventh and the 10th aspect of Saturn, as well as the fifth, seventh and ninth aspect of Jupiter. So please look into those videos for more holistic approach to that particular planet's aspect and how it should be able to manifest. Now about Rahu and Ketu, they have aspects similar to Jupiter except they don't have a powerful seventh aspect. They are in the seventh axis to each other. So that influence is seen rather than an axis, rather than an aspect influence of seventh aspect of Rahu and Ketu. So these are at a very, very generic level what aspects mean in astrology. Now coming to the brass tacks, first and foremost, if you are looking at the aspect of Saturn, the third aspect, the seventh aspect and the 10th aspect of Saturn will be in effect, and these are 100% aspects. Also planets are known to give a 1/4 aspect, half aspect, 3/4 aspect. Those aspects have also been described, though they are not as powerful and they don't manifest as strongly as the natural aspects of the planet. For example, here we are talking about the third, seventh and 10th aspect of Saturn, which are 100% aspects, though each of them has a different meaning. So that is one important thing, that planets have all round aspects, but the important aspects or the strongest aspects are the natural aspects as described in the shlokas, just like 3rd, 7th and 10th of Saturn or 5th, 7th and 9th of Jupiter. So this has to be kept in mind. Secondly, planets don't aspect each other in the Navamsa. For example, if Jupiter is in the Lagna and Saturn is in the second house, here they are not sharing any aspects. However, if Jupiter in the first house is in the Aries Navamsa, whereas in the second house Saturn is seen in the Libra sign, in the Navmansh, they will be seen as aspecting each other. Now, if you see houses in the Navmansh, then you will also say, oh, Jupiter is aspecting Saturn and Saturn is aspecting Jupiter. For example, if it's a Aries Lagna, then Jupiter is in Aries in the first house in the Navmansh, and Saturn is in Libra in the 7th house. So then, if you are counting houses in Navmansh, you will say Jupiter and Saturn are aspecting each other. However, in the Lagna chart, they are in the houses next to each other where there is no aspect. So in the Lagna chart, if they are not aspecting each other, will you count the aspect in the Navmansh? No, you will not count the aspect in the Navmansh. You can see my other videos which have talked about how not to see the Navamsa, which will give you more details about these. So in the Navamsa or in the Navmansh chart, you don't see aspects, you don't see yogas and doshas. Now to carry on about aspects. Aspects from a friendly planet to another friendly planet, or two planets which are friendly to each other, give you better results. Aspects of planets which are neutral to each other will either give neutral results or good results if the signs in which they are sitting are also benefic signs or neutral signs to each other. However, if a planet is inimical to another planet and is aspecting that planet, then in the dasha and antardasha of the planet, there will be challenges seen about the other planet. If two planets are forming a yoga or a dosha, then in the dasha and antardasha of a planet, if it's aspecting the other planet, then that will also be activated more stronger, because not only is the yoga formed, it is also an aspect. In the dasha of a planet which is aspecting another planet which is inimical to it, there will be challenges about the other house which the planet whose dasha and antardasha is on is aspecting. If there is no planet in that house which the planet whose dasha is on is aspecting, then the challenges are reduced, or there won't be so many challenges, but that other house is also activated by virtue of the planet's aspect on it and its dasha being on. However, if the planet is aspecting a planet inimical to it, for example, Mars is aspecting Mercury 7th to itself, then there will be challenges in communication, because Mars is aspecting Mercury. In communication, there will be challenges. There may also be challenges in how you analyze situations. So one has to be wary of that. One has to keep this in mind. The other thing is, if the two planets which are aspecting each other are beneficial planets to each other or are forming a yoga. For example, Jupiter and Moon are forming a yoga by aspecting each other with their 7th aspect. Then in the dasha and antardasha of Jupiter, the aspect is also activated as well as the yoga is activated, because they are not only under an aspect but they are also forming a yoga. Then good results will also come about the house where Moon is placed, and benefit results will also come by because Moon is also activated. So aspects have also to be seen. Stronger aspects, or aspects become stronger when a yoga is formed between the planets or a dosha is formed between the planets. Also, care has to be taken that also has to be factored in when you're looking at aspects. Now, planets in transit, their aspects are also seen. However, the planets whose transits are slow, their aspects are seen more than those planets which are faster moving. Say for example, Mars, Venus, Mercury, generally their transits over a certain house are roughly between 20-25 days to 40-45 days, maybe slightly longer depending on whether the planet is retrograde or not. Then because the aspect, when they are transiting, the aspect on the opposite houses for a very less time or a very short time, those aspects don't mean much. However, the aspects of Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu are important because these are slower moving planets and they take a lot of time to transit through a house. So their aspects on the opposite houses or their special aspects are stronger and for a longer period of time, and those have to be taken into contention. So if Saturn is transiting through the first house, aspecting the third house, 7th house as well as the 10th house, then all the three aspects have to be seen, because though Saturn is in transit, it is a slow moving planet and all the three aspects will be taken into account, should be counted. So the aspects of a transiting planet should be seen both in transit, what other houses it is aspecting, as well as in transit, what is it aspecting in the natal chart? For example, Saturn is transiting through the first house and Mars is placed in the third house in the natal chart. So that aspect is also activated because Saturn is aspecting with the third aspect Mars in the natal chart. Though in transit Mars may not be present in the third house, but because in the natal chart Mars is present in the third house and in transit Saturn is transiting to the first house, so that aspect is also seen, though to a smaller extent, but that aspect is also seen, that aspect also has to be taken into account. And now one of the most important things about aspects are seen only when the planets are closer in degrees to each other. Say for example, Saturn is in the first house and 10 degrees, and if Mars is in the third house at 10 degrees, then Saturn has a very strong aspect on Mars because both of their degrees are close to each other. However, if the degree difference between Saturn and Mars is more than 5 degrees, either Mars is less than 5 degrees or Mars is more than 15 degrees when Saturn is 10 degrees, then the aspect is further reduced, its effect is reduced. And when the degree difference increases more and more, the aspect also reduces. More than 10 degree difference between the planet, the aspects are seen as very weak, and if the degree difference is more than 15 degrees, then it's very weak and hardly any aspect is present. More than 20 degrees, one should not see aspects at all, even if the planets are in houses where the aspect should be counted. Say for example, Saturn is at 1 degree in Aries in the first house, Mars is in 25th degree in Gemini in the third house, yet because the degree difference is huge, almost 24 degrees, Saturn's aspect on Mars should not be counted, and that is an important thing to take into account when you see aspects. Also, when you're looking at aspects of planets from the Kendras, and if they're stronger and if they're strongly placed, then those aspects are better. However, aspects of planets which are placed in the Dusthanas, those will bring challenges, those will bring issues. Say for example, Saturn is placed in the 8th house and aspecting the 2nd house. So during the Dasha and Antardasha of Saturn, because Saturn's aspect is also activated, so the 2nd house results are also activated. Where is Saturn placed? In the 8th house of obstacles, of upheavals, of challenges. So during the Dasha and Antardasha of Saturn, because Saturn is aspecting the 2nd house with its 7th aspect, then there may be a slowdown in income, in savings, in earning potential of the person also. And if it's a friendly sign Saturn is aspecting, at least there will be stability in income and saving. However, if Saturn is aspecting an inimical sign to itself, then definitely more challenges will be coming because Saturn's aspect is activated. So for example, if Saturn is aspecting even from the Libra sign in the 8th house, aspecting this Aries sign in the 2nd house, this is for a Pisces ascendant native, then too you will find that in income or in saving there will be a slowdown because Saturn is aspecting its debilitation sign in the 2nd house, though it itself is placed in Libra sign in the 8th house. Saturn will give good results about the 8th house. So in terms of research, in terms of government contracts, in terms of audits, in terms of taxation, in terms of wealth management, in terms of inheritance, or those sources which are connected to virtual money, Saturn will give good results. However, because Saturn's 7th aspect is on Aries sign in the 2nd house, in terms of income and savings, there may be challenges, there may be obstacles, there may be obstructions to the results of the 2nd house. So that's how the aspect should be seen, whether the aspect is coming from a Kendra house where the planet is strong, or it's coming from a trine house which is also a gain making, which is also good luck bringing placement. But if it's from a Dusthana, the planet is aspecting another house, then the Dusthana results will also come into effect. And that's how at a holistic level one has to look at aspects, keeping in mind the degrees at which they are, whether they are placed in the good signs, friendly signs or not, whether they are aspecting friendly signs or not, whether they are placed in Dusthanas, whether they are in yoga or dosha with the planet that they are aspecting. And this care has to be taken that you don't see aspects or yogas or doshas in the Navam's chart. So friends, look into your own horoscopes and look holistically whether an aspect is in effect or not. Don't see only the generic means that Saturn has the 3rd, 7th or 10th aspect, but also look at whether the degree difference is high Also see if Saturn is aspecting a planet with which it is also forming a dosha or a yoga, and also see whether it's a friendly planet or a inimical planet to that planet, and that way you will be able to interpret the aspects of that particular planet. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.